Hey there, what's up guys? Welcome back to another standard video. Here with me, Arne Huschenbeth, and we are playing a deck that was almost already illegal prior to the set. But it kind of, I guess, got unlocked by the recent bannings, making the format a lot weaker. And in this new set, there's a card that is quite good in this deck. Really, really important, and probably without it, this deck would not be a thing. Yeah, what do we have going on here? We have Orzhov Sacrifice, a bunch of 1-mana creatures. We have the Link Breaker and the Infestation Sage as creatures that replace themselves, give another body. We have Forsaken Miner and Snarling Gorehound. Talk about the Forsaken Miner real quick. We have these 8 versions of Blood Artist, and they say target opponent loses 1 life, and anything that targets an opposing thing, maybe opponent graveyard creature, will trigger the Forsaken Miner. So if you have one of these sacrifice outlets here, the Bartolome or the Umbral, one of these, Vengeful or Sephiroth, in play, then every black mana turns into a damage and a Surveil or a 1/1 counter. Or if you have multiple Blood Witch, every black mana turns into 2 damage, 2 life, because you can sack the miner and then get it back for black because you're targeting your opponent right away. So it's a little neat combination. Yeah. The Gorehound, just as the Umbral Color's Zealot, surveil a lot. So they fill up your graveyard. And why is that good? Because you have Raise the Past, which is ridiculously powerful in this deck. I don't know if some of you remember Rally the Answers this. This is really giving similar vibes. You can just fill up your graveyard with a ton of creatures and then have something like a Blood Witch and an Umbral Zealot and a bunch of like random 1-mana creatures in your graveyard, and then cast Raise the Past, get a huge board, and just throw everything at the opponent and kill them. It makes spot removal pretty terrible against you, of course. It's, yeah, I mean, that's the entire strategy, essentially. You are putting a bunch of small stuff into play, you're surveilling towards Raise the Past while milling over a bunch of creatures, and then you get them all back. We have Voice of Victory in here, just a very strong 2-mana card, even sees modern play, and the Mobilize is very nice with the Blood Witch and the Sephiroth, as it sacrifices real creatures, which drains the opponent. It can also help flip the Sephiroth with the Mobilize trigger. Yeah. The numbers, you know, I'm kind of like trying to come up on the fly, sort of-ish. I actually based this deck list on a match I had in the early access against Mikael Bonde, a very strong Danish player, who played this deck against me and beat me. And I basically took all the cards he used and just tried to come up with numbers that made sense to me. Like 3 reinforcements, 2 minor, 3 Gorehounds. You know, I don't know about that necessarily. Or Bartolome, you could maybe play a second copy. I mean, it is legendary, which is a little annoying. And it's also a lot worse than the Zealot, I think, because the surveilling is huge. Yeah, you could also play less Raise the Past, I think, because you have a lot of surveilling and you really only need one of these. I could see only playing 3, but I'm just gonna max out on that, and we can still like figure things out while we're going through it. To the Coven Encampment here as well. This is just 3 mana to yeah, give yourself sort of these warrior mobilized tokens, which will then trigger you guys again, or give you something to surveil a little bit with Gorehound or Zealot. Voice of Victory and Gorehound is also kind of cute. I mean, this is surveil 2 immediately when you attack with the voice, or like surveil 1 and surveil 1. Yeah, the mana base is also fantastic, right? We have a little bit of a weird situation now in Standard where some color pairs don't even have they don't have a shock land, and they don't have a fast land. But then other color pairs like this one has both. Blue-red, for example, just has the fast land. Blue-green has both. Black-white also has both. So, you know, blue-green and black-white as 2 color pairs have some of the best mana in the format right now. Sideboard, it's kind of thrown together, you know, just the logical stuff. play some duress for the sweeper decks. Anything, especially that exiles would be annoying. I mean, Ultima doesn't exile, so you can still get the stuff back, but the new Starcage, the new lockdown variant, for example, you want to duress that, or you want to exercise it. I have a couple copies of Enduring Innocence. It's not that great in this deck, as you do have some creatures that don't even trigger it, but it combos nicely with Voice of Victory. It doesn't come back to Raise the Past, but yeah, I mean, I figured this might just be good against like a black mid-range opponent that really has problems dealing with the Enduring Innocence. Another 1-mana removal is Tragic Trajectory. Seems pretty good. We can trigger Void easily. It's a 1-mana turn 1 removal, so if you're on the draw, your opponent goes like Hired Claw, what have you, you can kill it immediately. Kutzil's Flanker and Lord Skitter. Some sideboarded graveyard hate here. Yeah, you could play Ghost Vacuums. I just want to have creatures. Lord Skitter seems nice. Flanker, also not too bad in this deck, as like all modes can be relevant. Ruthless Lawbringer, this is a powerful one. 3 mana, 3/2. When it comes to play, sacrifice any creature, destroy target non-land permanent. You know, very good with all the token makers, all the that replace themselves. Just a very strong body. You could also run it in the main deck. I decided to just have 0 interaction in the main deck, which might be a little bit crazy. But you know, you gain a lot of life, you put a bunch of blockers into play, and you just you combo kill your opponent in a way. I don't think you need the main deck removal. But this is probably the one card you would want to main deck if you want to play removal in the main. Yeah, it's just excellent. And then I have 1 copy of Elspeth. You know, yeah, powerful Planeswalker against sweeper decks, I guess. You could run 2 copies of this as well. And then 1 Season of the Burrow in this sort of same-ish slot, which is kind of neat with Sephiroth. If you can return a Sephiroth with this, I mean, indestructible Sephiroth that even flips at some point is pretty dangerous. Yeah, and Sephiroth is the only creature, just to finish on that introduction here of the deck, the only creature that you can't get back with the Raise the Past, but the card is just absolutely insane. And the sacrifice deck, of course, when it enters, draw a card, sacrifice a thing. Well, also when it attacks, the deck is built around the card in a way. The emblem you can get there if you have some stuff going on, like a Voice of Victory or a Zealot, and the card is just outrageously powerful, right? So, you know, one of the better cards in Standard, and this is probably the best home for it. So yeah, let's try this one out. Play first. Okay. I don't have a sacrifice outlet. This hand is like a little dorky in a way. Maybe you want to have 4 Gohounds. Like this would be a hand where Gohound would be nice to fix your draw. Could see that. Yeah. I looked at the new cards in the new set, and I didn't really find that many great ones. I mean, there's one that is certainly interesting. That's like I think it's Timeless Color or something it's called. It is similar to the Forsaken Miner in a way. You can cast it for 1 mana from the graveyard, and it has haste, but you have to pay 2 life, and it's like warp. I felt like the Forsaken Miner is a little bit better because you know, it's a 1 mana play. It's easier to cast. Meticulous Archive. So this could be anything really, yeah, but most likely blue-white control, I guess. Not Jeska control, or Jeska Oculus, I suppose. Lightning Helix, yeah, that's a little annoying. Okay, the encampment. Sure. Do I want to play the Blood Witch? Do I just want to progress more with the Resolute? I'm just gonna get the Blood Witch out there. I might just activate my encampment next turn, to be honest. Don't commit more to the board. This might be a little bit of a tough matchup. I don't know. I mean, depends a little bit on what interaction my opponent has. But counterspell on Raise the Past is kind of annoying. We'll see, I guess. I have to rest post board. At least they won't have Rest in Peace, I guess. Alright, I think I'm just going to activate the encampment. It's 4 damage here with the Blood Witch. Certainly a nice synergy. So yeah, they go to 14, I guess. Yeah, my draw is a little anemic. You do want to have the surveillors, I guess. You do kind of need those. Maybe Gorehound is better than... Maybe I should have 4 Gorehounds and only 2 of these. The Voice of Victory is also interesting. I mean, it's one of the weakest cards against removal in the deck. But I think the upside of the card is just too high. Yeah, I think you have to run 4 of this. It's just so powerful. And also, I mean, you have Sephiroth and you have the sacrifice creature guys, like the Umbral Zealot and Bartolome. And those are also removal targets. They're not that good against removal either, right? And yeah, so it's not gonna be like if you take out the voices, you're still gonna have cards that trade 1 for 1 for removal. Point removal. That's pretty annoying. This is the type of removal I do not want to see. So it exiles. So this is something I would want to have a Lawbringer in the main deck for. Yeah. You want to have your stuff get into the graveyard. Okay, if I had a Gorehound instead of one of these, I could have fixed my draw immensely this game. Making me think I want 4 Gorehounds in my deck. Yeah, I'm just kind of like not doing... Like I'm kind of playing like a... Not really standard right now. I'm playing like a powered up limited deck. That's how this feels. And my opponent is actually doing powerful things. He's sort of just playing good cards, mythics, stock up. And that's enough to get it done here. My draw is really, really anemic. Yeah. I guess I'll just go in there. Try to poke them and then try to find a Sephiroth and then draw into something powerful. I don't know. Raise the Past doesn't even look good here. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna add another Gorehound. Like, imagine I would have drawn Raise the Past in this game. It would have been horrendous. Like, it wouldn't have done anything, right? I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit too sort of results-oriented right now. But you do... Yeah, I think you do need those surveillors probably pretty... Yeah. It's just the annoying thing about Gohan is that in multiples it's kind of iffy, right? You want to draw like 1 Gohan exactly. That's why I wanted to have 3. You don't want to draw the card in multiples as it like you don't need that much surveilling either. Although maybe it's not that bad. But if you draw 3 copies of the card, it's gonna be bad, right? Because then you probably don't have enough of like sacrifice fodder or of sacrifice creatures. Yeah. The payoff. Lands. Okay. Main deck. Yeah, I mean, that's leaning the grindier way by going Overload in the main deck. I mean, that's pretty reasonable, I guess. Especially if, like, Spyglass, Siren, and Kaito are still legal. Like, you know, this entire new, like, I don't know what the format looks like. I guess the format is probably heavily dominated by blue-red decks, isn't it? The Vivi Cauldron deck. And there's the Gorehound. Yeah. I'm just gonna keep doing this, I guess. I don't know. Just attack all. Maybe, I mean, yeah. I just have too much of the... Doesn't really do anything by itself. I think I should bin this. I need to find Sephiroth at this point. Yeah, this is almost good enough, maybe. I don't... What's gonna happen here? They're gonna block these 3 creatures, maybe. Take 3, go to 4. I really want Sephiroth. I think I'm just gonna bin this. Also might have Lightning Helix. Yeah, I mean, my position feels pretty rough. I don't think I'm going to win this game. My opponent has 6 cards in hand. Stalk up twice. Yeah, this is better block, for sure. They have Get Lost. Get Lost pretty bad against this deck. Yeah, maybe they don't seem to have Lightning Helix. I think my Gohan would have eaten a Lightning Helix if they had one. Sure, I guess. Alright. If I draw a race from the past, I do get a lot of stuff back. Yeah. Do I want to attack? I guess yes, huh? Oh, shoot. I'm stupid. I forgot to activate this. Alright, never mind. Yeah. Don't think it makes a big difference, but yeah. I mean, Beza would have been certainly better here than Overlord, but Overlord has its matchups, Beza has its matchups. They're playing very carefully here with these. Yeah, I mean, it did matter that I didn't attack there. That was certainly bad. I essentially threw away damage and 2 surveils. That was pretty bad. I'm playing for the first time with this card in Constructed, so that's my excuse, I guess. What do I do? What do I do? They have 4 cards in hand. I feel like I kind of need to find the race from the past right here, right now. I just feel so far behind. I do have more time, theoretically. Okay, there you go. It's... yeah, we'll see if it resolves. Probably not. A miracle? No. No more lies, even. Yeah, I mean, this deck is gonna have a tough time getting to 7 mana to play around Normalize. So yeah, counterspells like that seem quite strong against it. Nice. Okay, I'm just gonna concede. I don't want to play this out. Opponent's looking at the top 8 and taking the best 2. I'm good. Okay. So what to do? Duress I do want. Innocence, maybe? Innocence seems kind of decent, to be honest. It goes around the Seam Rip, the Star Cage, all those things. It's a little bit of a grindy tool. I could play Exercise. Oh, I mean, Lawbringer's probably better. Okay, what do we take out? That's the question. Maybe Bartolome. Maybe a couple one of these. This is probably worse. Maybe a Wraith. Yeah. Maybe a Witch. It's a pretty bad card by itself. But it's also kind of necessary, probably. Tricky. I could take out a land. That seems kind of weird. Yeah, just not a lot of space Not a lot of space for sideboard cards, I feel like. I haven't played with an archetype like this in a while in Standard. It depends. I mean, sometimes you might even want to take out the Raise the Pass entirely. If you believe your opponent is on like Graveyard Hate, that is pretty heavy. But this matchup, especially with the Duress, I kind of want to just combine that and maybe try to get my opponent. I didn't bring in the Lawbringers now. Maybe I should have trimmed more aggressively on some of the lower impact cards. The thing is, it's tough. Like, we're playing against a control deck, so there's a lot of interaction. They have a lot of interaction to sort of remove the important pieces, and then I'm going to be left with these random 1/1s. That's sort of the fear. But if I don't run these random 1-drops, this hand seems fine, then my deck doesn't really work, right? So, tricky. The Shocklands are certainly pretty fantastic for standard play, I would say. As they really make 3-color decks work with the Verges. If we get the other 5 Shocklands, our mana bases are going to be cracked. Like, we can play 3 colors all the way. Alright, let's think about this. I don't want to play this and get a Lightning Helix out of the way. But I also do want to resolve this the utmost. I'm just going to play it. I'm just going to play it and then hope they don't have the removal and hope they have no more lies. And then I can punish them by passing the turn again. Right? Like now they're sitting on the counterspell, hoping to get something. And I can just pass the turn on them. Maybe this deck should play 22 lands, 23, 22. I think that's sort of the range of lands you would want to play in a deck like this, 22 or 23. Yeah, I don't know. You do play 4 Raise the Past, but you also have a lot of surveilling, so you can surveil into stuff, and you really are bad at flooding out. So maybe 22 is the correct amount. I could also play a creature land. I could maybe play something like Fountain Port, I guess, as a one-off maybe. Fountain Port would certainly help against something like Jeskai. And it does spew out tokens. The mana is really good, right? So you could afford to run Fountain Port. Control decks are not looking too bad. But I mean, the obvious MVP going into this format is the Izzet stuff, right? Oh, opponent's gonna have to discard here. The Izzet decks that have Vivi, the Izzet Prowess version was very successful at the Arena qualifier weekend. Zachary Keeney and Nathan Stoyer both qualified with that deck for the Arena Championship. And Zach didn't lose a game, I think. Or, sorry, not a match. He went like straight up 11-0. Yeah, so pretty impressive. Yeah. And then the other one is obviously the Vivi Cauldron deck that now can play Dragonautics Engineer. You know, it's a downgrade compared to Voldaren Thrillseeker, but, you know, the deck is still extremely powerful. And it's not much of a downgrade, I'd say. Okay, interesting situation here. I could surveil a little bit if I wanted to. Opponent, what are they going to do next turn? Day of Judgment? I think I'm okay. They discarded Get Lost. Okay, I can flip Sephiroth here, theoretically. I don't know if I want to do that. If I go Day of Judgment, So if I activate the encampment here, I get to attack for 6/8. They go to 7. Then they Day of Judgment. I let it happen. I get the, well, I surveil a little bit, but I get the 1/1 here. Then I play Blood Witch, sack the 1/1 into the Sephiroth, drain them for 2, and they kind of have to Wrath me again. If I play Sephiroth, draw a card. Everything dies. It takes 6, go to 9. And I get the emblem, which is kind of neat, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. The emblem is gonna be good against the control deck, I suppose. All right, let's go for that. I guess. All right, I kind of convinced myself into that, doing so. Question is, do I want to flip the Sephiroth right? Oh, that's a nice draw. That's a really nice draw, actually. Okay, I do think I should flip it right here, right now. I guess I can play this and sack this. It's kind of same shit, I guess. All right, let's just flip the Seph. Getting the emblem seems very nice. Don't need more lands. And maybe we can surveil into Erase the Past. I guess that's sort of a nice position to be in as a like have a lethal Erase the Past on your opponent. Don't want another Sephiroth. So they wipe my board. And they go to what? 3 life. Then a creature dies. 2 life even. I don't think I want it, actually. I have more surveils. Do I play this? It's probably gonna die. I think I should, though. I just want to surveil more. Interesting. I don't know. Oh, Seam Rip. Get rid of my guy. Okay. I mean, I could sack this. If he then kills this, I'm left with nothing. This guy comes back though whenever anything dies, so the Blood Witch dying. So I think I want to. Yeah, okay, this is gonna stay. I think I would rather take Erase the Past, obviously, but this is gonna stay now. This is lethal. Should I have a Get Lost? That's fine. I can then. I just have a kill if they get lost. Yeah, they're just super dead here, right? Because. Yeah, they're just dead. Like, they have to kill the Sephiroth to survive. They go to 3, and then I play Umbril plus Vengeful. And I have the Forsaken Miner. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack first. What they have, Right's End? It doesn't matter what they have. They have Lockwell. Okay, sure. Now I do this. And then I do this. Oh. Oh, never mind. I kind of miscalculated, didn't I? I didn't think that I would have actually. So I don't have straight up lethal, but it's an awkward position for my opponent because any creature dying right now costs my opponent 2 life. Yeah, I don't have straight up lethal because I have to sack. Yeah. Okay, well, Lock Whale, that was surprising. Okay. If it would, I could have played around Lock Whale, right? I could have just played Vitch and sell it, attack, and then they go Lock Whale. Then I sack the Sephiroth. Then I get the Forsaken Miner back, and then I sack the Forsaken Miner. They take 4 damage in total. Anyways. Okay. Maybe I want the Lord Skitter just as a good card. It's not great into Lightning Helix, but it does things. Seam Rip is also annoying. Seam Rip. Could play Lawbringer to blow it up. A Blood Witch strikes me as a little weird. Yes, it's good, and yes, it's kind of bad too. It's not so good if they kill like my sacrifice guys and whatnot, but it's kind of nice against sweepers. I don't know what their list is exactly looking like. Maybe I should have 4 Raise the Past. Maybe this Enduring Innocence card is just too slow. Maybe this is not what it's about. Can I just want Elspeth too? I don't know. Maybe cut 1 Blood Witch for Ruthless. I don't know. I don't know. It's tricky. I mean, I do make the Raise the Past worse by trimming some of these smaller creatures and the Witch. So maybe I shouldn't have 4 copies then. Yeah, I think this is too bad, unfortunately. Okay. Do I want to keep a 3rd land, or I want to keep a creature? I think I don't need that many creatures, so I'm just going to get rid of that. I do have Elspeth now in my deck, so I need some lands to cast these spells. Okay, that was a good one. Yeah, but I don't know, like, Control might be a bit of a rough matchup. That's just sort of the vibe I'm getting, because especially Normalize seems so brutal, as it counters Sephiroth effectively and Raise the Past. I could do the same as I did last time, where I played a 2-drop now, and then have the 2-mana play later as an instant when they hold up counter magic. If they go Stalk up here, yeah, then I can go Sephiroth. I guess then it would have maybe been a little bit better to... Ooh, Duress is interesting. Very, very interesting. Would have maybe been better to go Resolute first. I messed up. Sorry, I forgot to deal damage. Oopsie, I'm playing a little fast. Yeah, they should be at 15. I didn't want to go for the Duress here, as I feel like if I do that and don't deploy the Sephiroth, there's a good chance they have multiple ways of preventing my Sephiroth from doing anything. Yeah, the way I played this wasn't great. As if I have Resolute instead of Blood Witch, oh, that's kind of neat-ish. If I have Resolute instead of Blood Witch, I actually do have a 1/1 left in play there. Okay. Ultima stops all my death triggers. They're just gonna go Shiko this turn. Yeah. Not good. Yeah, I'm kind of toast here. This seems like a rough matchup. Blue-white might be a little bit easier because no Lightning Helix. Lightning Helix seems kind of nasty. And Shiko, obviously, very good at turning the corner. But yeah, they just have too much interaction, a couple counter spells for Raise the Past. You kind of want to, with this deck, you kind of want to run into like fair black midrange. I don't know about the Prowess matchup. Like that deck, they don't have that great of interaction. They have like Floodmore and Torch the Tower. You know, against those, there's just not that much interaction. It's more of a race, right? Like who combos the other faster, I suppose. Maybe this deck is a little too fragile. I could see that. Like, the fact that Torch the Tower deals with your sacrifice guys and exiles them is pretty big. Like, that one of the best, or arguably the best 1-mana removal. I mean, I guess that's... The Seam Rip also exiled, so that's another 1-mana removal that exiles. That's excellent. That's going to see a lot of play. That those are what people primarily play is not good for this deck. It's a pretty huge downside. Opponent just passes? Wow. That's interesting. Maybe they drew consult the star charts? No, okay. Alright, well... I don't even know if I want to play this because of the beza. Oh shit. Yeah, that's gonna be GG. Alright. Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, Kutzit's flanker is pretty nasty against Raise the Past. Alright, tough matchup. Jessica Control beat me. Well, on to the next. Shaky hand. I'm just gonna keep on the back of Gorehound getting me there, hopefully. Looks like my opponent has a Shock. So I'm just gonna play Infestation Sage. And don't develop my good creature yet. I think I'm gonna keep this. I don't know. I probably shouldn't. Like, I feel like I should keep this if I know that my Gorehound is surviving, but I don't know that my Gorehound is surviving. Ah, okay. Yeah. I think it was fine to bin the Resolute. You're kind of happy binning creatures with this deck, I think, in most scenarios, because, you know, you have Raise the Past in your deck. This is like a Naya Yuna deck. Yeah. Keep the 4-lander and draw 2 lands. Not very good. Maybe you should play 22 lands, I guess. Maybe it's just... Yeah, I could see that. Like, this deck is just too prone to flooding. It's too much of an issue, and you need a lot of card density. People keep playing this Naya Yuna deck. Every time I run on the ladder, it feels like I play against this deck, and every time it looks pretty horrible, to be honest. But yeah, people just like it, I guess. People sort of has this domain vibe, huh? Just people like stuff like that. I looked at Untap to see like the win rates of the standard decks, and it just, this Yuna deck had one of the worst win rates. And yeah, did not surprise me because I was beating it with whatever I played. But my 6-lander play a couple of 1/1s is... Doesn't look like it's gonna get there. This is the presentation effect, huh? I just get a little unlucky. And yeah, that's that. Yeah, the deck is very prone to flooding. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I could have Fountain Port, I guess. And probably just 22 lands, yeah. Okay, there's a card. Unfortunately, I have to actually sack a good creature. I think I'm gonna sack the Blood Witch. Oh my god. As I wanted to draw a creature there, or like Resolute Reinforcements to keep churning through my deck. I mean, this is just 7 lands, this is a little too much. Yeah. You could play the Black Overlord, I was thinking. To mill over cards and find creatures. It's also a way of card advantage. That could be reasonable here, to be honest. The deck is very creature heavy, but yeah, I don't know. Or maybe you want some manlands. Nah, I think Fountain Port is probably better than a manland. Do they have anything? I think I'm in desperation mode here. I'm just gonna block and sack my Gorehound and just hope that there's a Raise the Past in my top two. This draw was just too bad that yeah. I guess I should have sacked the Gorehound before I block, as it gives me more information. Now I'm down to nothing. Okay. Very exciting. Not. Well, Yuna, best deck in the format, clearly. I did do jack shit, and they beat me. I'm not surprised. Cool. What do I even want? Probably just some Graveyard Aid. I could run Lawbringer. I think I just want to be proactive on the play. For the last match, I'm gonna go down to 22 lands. I guess I'm gonna try to include a Fountain Port somehow. These hands, they're so bad. Having something like Black Overlord would make these hands more functional, right? Because it's like it fills up the Raise the Past. You know, maybe Black Overlord is reasonable in this deck. I'll think about it a little bit more. I can't really mulligan this, can I? Just, you really don't want to have more than 3 lands, but you do need 4. It's kind of weird. But I guess you're often okay not hitting your 4th land drop right away. Like if you hit it on turn 5, that's fine. Whenever you draw like too many lands, this deck feels completely unplayable. Could also play more Forsaken Miner as it synergizes with the Surveilling and you get it for free back. It's interesting. I'm not sure. Like this is sort of the exploring phase of the deck. Unfortunately, I'm getting pretty unlucky in this matchup and just keep drawing a bunch of lands. Okay, never mind. Drew a good one. Alright, now I feel a lot better with this game. Sack the Miner. Okay. Yeah, Overlord makes some sense, doesn't it? Get Lost. Get Lost is really bad against me. The map tokens seem great. Ooh, that's annoying. Why do you have that card in your deck? I guess I'll map first. Okay, more lands. Yes, that's what I needed. That's what I was looking for. I'm just gonna bin every creature I see. I just want to fill up that Raise the Past. Yeah. Maybe I just want Elspeth. Maybe you just want Elspeth instead of Raise the Past. I mean, Esper's just a powerful card. It's good with creatures, that's for sure. Okay, so I have 2 guys I can get back. Not the greatest race to pass, that's for sure. They have Yuna, maybe. How about an 8th land? Does that sound good to you? Sure, I guess I'll do this. They can take my Forsaken Miner before I can get it back. Yeah, Gorehound has felt nice. Maybe I'm playing too many of that like Nezumi Linebreaker type card. Whoa, they let me get it back? What the heck? Why would you allow that to happen? But yeah, we do see the encampment is very nice with Sephiroth and Blood Witch. It's a nice swing. Oh, they just concede. Oh, okay. Well, alright. Yeah, I could see that I have too many of these guys. Maybe I should just play 6 in total. Certainly feel like I shouldn't have that many lands in my deck. 5, 9, 13, 17, 19 black sources, 7, 11, 15, 12, 14, 16 white sources. 4, 16, no, 18 white sources. That's a lot. I don't need that much white. I can just get rid of a starting tone, to be honest. I mean, vacuum's annoying, I guess, so I probably want some of this card. Just cut another one of you guys. I don't know. Go a little bigger. Yeah, I could probably cut a Raise the Past as well. I didn't really need it there. Raise the Past is a game 1 card against most decks, because post-board, people bring in Graveyard Hate, the card does get worse. And you rather have something like Elspeth to go over the top, maybe. Yeah. This deck feels so horrendous. Like every time, I keep having these 5-landers too, like, or like these situations where I just have so many lands. But yeah, I mean, that's a big downside of the deck, to be honest. If the deck is non-functional, if you draw like your 5th land too early in the game, that's pretty bad. All right, that was a great draw. That was probably the best draw in my deck. That was huge. Maybe you want 4 of this. There's a lot of 2-drops in the deck already, but it's obviously a nice card. It's like Sephiroth. It's also nice with Gorehound. Gets you 2 guys right away. So you get double Surveil, not like the Nezumi Linebreaker. In a lot of scenarios, Nezumi Linebreaker is the same as this, though. So, and that one costs 1 mana only, right? So. Oh, I should have sacked the reinforcements probably, because it's an actual creature. Minor thing, but right, like, because I wanted the bin. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack. I need more stuff. And I'm happy if they double block me. Yeah. Yikes, all these lands. It's a sign. I even cut a land, I still draw 7 of them. It looks like they don't have removal. I think they just have Yuna and a land, probably. So I'm just gonna play another Seph. I guess they could have the The 4 damage guy. The... What's it called? Overlord of the Boulder Burgess or something like that. Yeah. Interesting. Not gonna be able to trigger my miner that easily, but now I can, right? Now I can do the little combo. Right, this is exactly how, yeah, this is how it works. So I do this, it targets the miners in the grave, I can cast it again. That goes to the bin, and then I just do it again. I can't do that as long as they have the vacuum up, but if they're tapped out, I can do it. That's probably a keep. I don't even know what I'm sacking though, because if I sack this, they can exile it. But then I can get it back in response. Huh. They get a fear back. Next turn's gonna be good, I think. Next turn's gonna be good. Sure. That's fine. Okay. All right. Esper Origins. Yep. All right. So what I can do now, I can play this, sack the miner, kill the Yuna, and activate my vacuum. And then activate my, then my miner trigger is going to be on the stack because that's a targeted ability as well, right? They're both from the same set. Synergies. Well, you dropped the black, white, and outlaws. You had them both. You had a good deck. I even get 2 commit triggers, but now they can vacuum my miner. But then I can sack my Lawbringer and trigger my Sephiroth again, and we're good to go. And then we get the miner back, and then I can flip my Sephiroth. Trigger. There you go. That I don't need. Yeah, I can let all this nonsense resolve. I'm declining these 2. Opponent's thing dies, and then we do this again. I get to do it again, of course. I bin this. My Sephiroth flips. Now I can attack the Sephiroth, draw a card by sacking the miner. They get to attack me back for like 8. That's kind of whatever. I guess I think I want to attack this as well. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Like, I do have to raise the pass, but they can exile the Zealot. And the Zealot is kind of important, I think. Okay, the Blood Witch is going to make things pretty dirty next turn. They're going to go to 8. Yeah. Sephiroth is cracked in this deck, that's for sure. Yep, another trigger. You probably don't lose many games where you get that emblem. The emblem is just insane. The deck really has a lot of tools, so that's why I thought it was really good, but you know, the games haven't really played out that well for me. But that's okay. Okay, so they gain 8, theoretically. I could make them only gain 5. I kind of need the Zealot, don't I? Do I? Do I need the Zealot? Maybe I don't. With the Sephiroth. And sack my entire board. I guess I don't. It does combo with the minor. It's okay, I guess. I don't think I want that. I think I should be okay here. Oh, I should have blocked the other guy. Yeah, because that one actually does trigger damage. This guy had a finality counter. Yep, small mistake. I don't think it's gonna matter, but I think my opponent's just taking way too much damage here. I'm gonna get 1, 2, 3 guys back. That's plenty. Yeah, this is 1,000,000 damage. Literally 1,000,000. I don't even know. I mean, every creature dying is 2 damage, and I have 5 in the air here, so take 5, and then I can deal up to another 12 or 10 or something. I could have also sacked my entire board immediately, and they would have just died to the swing there. I didn't need the Zealot here. Alright, well, the deck did its thing. We played against Yuna, so a bit of an easier opponent, I guess. But it did something, even though we drew a lot of lands in all of these games. Still worked out. Alright. Okie dokie. Yeah, let's go. This hand. This is the type of hand I want to see, right? Like a 2-lander and stuff. And then you can work yourself towards the lands, not like a 5 or 6 lands early game. Starting turn, Stormchaser's Talent, some Esper shenanigans maybe. Esper Pixie stuff. Probably just go on, right? You just wanna, like, you could maximize damage to the minor, but I think it's more important to maximize surveilling, to sort of find all your combo pieces and mill as many cards as possible into the graveyard. I did make the changes. I added a 4th Gorehound, I cut a land, I cut 2 lands and added a Fountain Port, so 22 lands now, and a Fountain Port included. And I also added another Forsaken Miner, and I cut 2 of those Nezumi Line Breakers, yeah, to make room for the Gorehound and the Forsaken Miner. And now I just play a Gorehound. Maybe this is Izzet. Izzet Prowess. And I'm just gonna bin all this stuff. Infestation Sage, Forsaken Mana. I think I just want to play the Sage, as I can chump block and then get more triggers. Yeah, everything. I just want the 4th land, to be honest. 4th land I'm taking. Everything else is gonna go to the bin. And this is exactly what the deck wants to do, right? This is the position you want to be in. You want to bin a bunch of creatures, bin a sacrifice outlet, have the witch, and yeah, just get it all back and kill the opponent. Or just make an insurmountable board state. Torture Tower is on my radar, I suppose. I'm gonna jump here. Them not having it is nice. Into the Floodmoor is a card. Like, these decks play Into the Floodmoor and Torch as their most commonly played removal, I would think. I'm just gonna keep the land, I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the land, yeah. And Into the Flood Mode is not very good against this deck, for what it's worth. Just attack all. I could jump block for Gorehound, theoretically. So I'm gonna get it back anyways. Yeah. Like this Raise the Pass is just gonna be absolutely obscene. And I'm sifting through so many cards here. Yeah, Gorehound looking nice. Okay. Okay, I think my opponent's just super dead. I mean, I guess they could have Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce is a little annoying, not gonna lie. Okay, no Spell Pierce. I'll take the damage. Probably gonna see a Torch on a Witch. But it's not gonna matter. I think they're super dead. They're gonna take 5 from my creatures, and then I have a Witch and like infinite creatures in play. Boom. Couple Surveil triggers. It doesn't matter, right? Take 5. They go to 8. I sack 8 guys. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna bottom, top, toppity top. Attack. And start sacrificing. Yeah. Alright, thank you very much for making this shorter. Okay. Blue-red. Huh. So they have Ghost Vacuum, likely. And they have Vivi. So I probably want to have Lawbringer to just be able to kill the Vivi. And Torture Tower, not very good against Voice. They have to sacrifice something. Maybe cut a Reinforcement, maybe cut a Raise, maybe cut a Linebreaker. I don't think I want to Res. Yeah, this is the Izzet Prowess deck, right? So they play sort of like a mid-range hybrid. Like they have Vivis, I think, instead of... I haven't really looked at this deck that closely, to be honest. But yeah, they're kind of a little bit out of standard for a couple days. I was awaiting Edge of Eternity's release to get back into it. Had some family time in my hometown, home city. All right, the sand is pretty decent. Kind of missing the sacrifice piece. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh yeah, that card is powerful. That's a good one. Suddenly puts on a clock. Everything goes to the bin. I'm just doing the same thing again. Pretty effective. Go. I have 4 lands. Oh, Sephiroth. Sephiroth's interesting. Because the more the merrier. I think I'm going to keep the Sephiroth. I think I'm going to keep it. Like, if they don't deal with that card, I usually win the game. And if I have a second copy, I, win the game even more. And I have the Miner, so I have a little bit of a synergy there with it. Not a Planisphere, that's kind of threatening. Planisphere just replacing the Curry Steel Cutter. Okay, they have a 1-mana removal or an opt. They might have Torture Tower. They're just not sure what to kill. Maybe it was bad to have the Sephiroth on top. I just don't have that much sacrifice fodder. That's a little bit the unfortunate part. They choose to hold up mana for some reason. The Planisphere is kind of good with Torture Tower. Yeah, okay. Yeah, now the Sephiroth looks pretty bad, actually. Pretty bad. I feel bad about keeping it. I didn't really think this whole thing through enough. I would have drawn an encampment instead. That wouldn't have changed much. Yeah, my opponent's putting on a lot of pressure here. A Cauldron, So they just randomly run like one Cauldron for the Vivi? Okay. I guess that's reasonable. It's a lot of damage. And they can now exile my graveyard too. Brutal. 4-6-9. Yeah, I think we're going to game 3 soon enough. Yeah, this blue-red deck looks strong. Stormchaser's Talent. The Planisphere. Stalk Up, Opt, Torture Tower, Floodmore. I mean, we all know that those are good cards. Okay. Opponent had a very strong draw as well, to be fair. I'm at 6. Yeah, the Raise the Past looks pretty bad against this Cauldron over there. Yeah. I kind of drew the wrong mixture of things here. Too many of these high-end cards, not enough enablers, and again, Graveyard Hate coming into play. How am I winning this game? I probably have to sack the Gorehound and just Raise the Past. It's not great, but I can't see better right now. Okay. Oh wow, they didn't activate their Cauldron? What the heck? Well, okay. That was lucky. They should have stopped the Resolute from coming down. They didn't pay attention. No. I have a backup already. I made sure. Okay, well now we have 1, 2, 3 creatures to get back. Oh, okay. Never mind. Wait, I gained 4, but well, this flips, I guess. Fire Magic is kind of insane against me. Yeah, Fire Magic is brutal against this deck. Holy shoot. Yeah, they got me, right? This is enough. This is like exactly enough, even with the counter here. It's exactly enough. Huh. Damn it. It's exactly enough. Think about that. Alright. I mean, they had a really good draw. I think you can definitely say that. They went like Talent, Planisphere, 1 drop into Fire Magic as their last card, plus a Cauldron. So their draw was excellent, and it was kind of interesting of a game. I mean, if I would have survived this turn, I would have probably won the game with the second Raise the Past. Okay. We just cut the Bartolome for this. I mean, let's think about this. So this card is pretty trashy against Fire Magic, isn't it? So maybe I want less reinforcements, actually. Bartolome is actually fine against Fire Magic, as I can pump it. But yeah, Fire Magic, whew, I have to be aware of that one. That's a sick card against a deck like mine. Alright, that's a mulligan. Okay. Okay. It's a little unfortunate that I have a tap land here. It's got to be that, right? I mean, it could be this. I don't think so. Yeah, would love to curve out, but I think the highest priority play is to get the voice down on turn 2. Obviously, if I have a swamp on top, I would much rather get the Infestation Sage down here, but I just don't have that guarantee. And I'm not going to take the gamble. I have not drawn many voices, I feel like, in this set of matches, games. That card is just inherently powerful. I mean, if your deck is a little weaker, you know, as long as you have voice, you know, it just ups your quality a little bit. Okay, now a land, please. That's unfortunate. Okay. Fire magic, not very good here, obviously. The free toughness is nice. Stormchaser's Talon, yes. I assume my Zealot is gonna die here. Surprise. Yeah. They should stay back with the Planisphere. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I guess not. I guess not. Alright, 3 cards in hand. I think I just play the voice. I need a good Sephiroth turn. Yeah, this matchup is kind of tricky too. They just have like the torches, the fire magic. The Planisphere is a pretty threatening clock. That card is just very good. Yeah. Doesn't feel nice. Okay, that's it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just a little bit too slow out of the gate, missing the land draw, being on the draw. No, I actually was on a play this game, being on a mulligan. Just not optimal. I don't even know if I want to play the Sephiroth, to be honest. It's just gonna die. I might want to play these two, but then this is gonna die. I really want this in play when I play the Sephiroth. The sort of like max value. Tough spot. Really tough spot. Opponent also didn't play a land for what it's worth. Yeah, I feel like I'm just toast here, honestly. I think I'm just toast. I don't know how to get out. I kind of have to, I don't know, hope this survives, or I have to hope this survives. I don't even know. Going into this, I thought my deck was a little bit better, but now I feel a little bit down on this archetype, I have to say. To be fair, this is the Vivi deck is probably the best deck in the format, or like top 2 maybe, or it's just the best deck in the format. So that obviously doesn't make things easier to get paired into tougher competition, but you know, I mean, it's what you have to compare yourself to. And if you are losing to the best deck in the format, then your deck's not great. Not well positioned, at least. They use the fire magic just like that. They just want to kill me. Their draw was very strong in both game 2 and 3, to be fair. They really curved out perfectly. But I mean, they're also playing 8 cantrips. This card is impressive. It's not as good as Curry Steelcutter, but it's also not the most embarrassing replacement, that's for sure. It's a very, very powerful 2-mana play. Imagine we would get Flame of Arne in Standard. Pff, this is a wizard. Vivi is a wizard. They just double fire magic me. Oh, they use it for 2 mana there. Nice. Alright, so they're at 9 and I take exactly 14. Are you kidding me? Both game 2 and 3, they killed me exacties. Yeah. I mean, okay. Well, they had really good draws in game 2 and 3. Game 1 is likely the one you're supposed to win, as they don't have like fire magic, they don't have graveyard hate, and you can sneak one out with a big return to the past. What was it? Raise the past, it's called, right? I always think return from the past. Anyways, raise the past. But yeah, here they had it all. I had a bit of a measly draw here in game 3 and just died. All right. Well, yeah, went 1 and 2. This deck seems reasonable. Maybe is more in the tier 1.5, tier 2 bracket. Not quite as powerful as the best things that you can be doing in this format. I was a little bit more excited going into this video. Now I feel a little bit skeptical, to be honest. But hey, it was worth a shot. This is certainly one of the most cracked Sephiroth decks in the format. And I mean, this is far from the best 75 that you can have. I'm sure there's more tuning to be done and more refinement, and to make this deck even better and perhaps competitive, or one of the better decks in a given meta game, if this Prowess deck or these fire magic decks get pushed out somehow. All right, thank you for watching as always, and I see you in the next one. Take care, guys.